We're down to Braille. we are down to Braille. Gosh, somebody with a signal here. Give me a shout. This is KC9VKV.
Signal here. Give me a shout. This is KC9VKV.
Gosh, is that Ed?
Gosh, is that Ed?
I don't have the amp on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but gosh, why don't you have your amp on?
I can hear you, but gosh, why don't you have your amp on?
I was just tuning around, and heard you, and they wanted to say hello, KI4YTV.
By George, I think you found the switch.
By George, I think you found the switch.
No, I'm still barefoot.
Oh, well, then I have a bunch to look forward to, Ed.
I have a bunch to look forward to, Ed.
Well, I just heard you in there, and I wanted to say hi. I hadn't talked to you, checked in for a long time.
Roger. Now, what net you working for? Some net? What's the net you're working for?
What's the net you working for? Some net? What's the net you're working for?
I do the North American Traffic and Awards net. North American Traffic and Awards net. I also fill in for Ole Miss, the Ole Miss net, and I help Connor on the UTCAW. Oh, let's not forget, I fill in for Pete for trivia on 39162 once in a while.
Roger. Now, have you got that amp on yet?
Roger. Now, have you got that amp on yet?
I lost that last one.
I could switch the wall, so it might be better.
Gosh, let me give you a target here. I'm transmitting to you, Ed. You can AB me vertical or horizontal, whichever is better. Go for it. 1, 2, 3. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and I'm talking to Ed down there in Alabama.
Qso-Vlog net, and I'm talking to Ed down there in Alabama.
You're a little stronger on the vertical.
Roger, and I think I was copying you better on the horizontal. Oh, such is life.
I think I was copying you better on the horizontal. Oh, such is life.
I'll turn the amp on so you don't have to strain.
I surely appreciate it, Ed. Thank you very much for wonders.
I surely appreciate it, Ed. Thank you very much for the wonders.
Hello? If you're doing 500 Z's, man, you can probably do that in 20 seconds.
If you're doing 500 Z's, man, you can probably do that in 20 seconds.
It's pretty close there.
Yeah, it sounds like you got it right there, buddy.
Now.
Yeah, it sounds like you got it right there, buddy.
Yeah, well, a couple of horsepower, 120 watts.
Yeah, I hear you. Every little bit counts. It's amazing how that works, Roger.
Every little bit counts. It's amazing how that works, Roger.
You don't have any problems barefoot.
Well, gosh, would it be that I was?
Well, gosh, would it be that I was?
Well, you know how it is. The conditions are bad in the afternoon now. I do the North American Traffic and Awards net at 60. I Central. It's pretty dead until about the end of the net. The big boys come in, you know.
Roger. Now I just switched over to my Arlington, Virginia SDR. Man, you're about 20 over on that. The best signal of all the SDRs is Arlington, and it also has the best frequency response. So why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds on something of subject of your choice, so we can get a nice recording.
Subject of your choice, so we can get a nice recording.
All right, I'm running a 560-foot loop, homemade ladder line, and old Dentron MT3000 tuner, and MLA 2500 amplifier, and a 7300 optimized.
Yes, sir. All right. Looking at like I say, the Arlington SDR is one of the only SDRs that I've found that actually has pretty linear bass lower frequency response. Most of them roll out at about 250 cycles. This one seems to be fairly good down to 100 cycles, and you look to be rolling out at about start to roll at about 125 cycles. So you got a nice bottom end, Roger.
Start to roll at about 125 cycles. So you got a nice bottom end, Roger.
Well, it's just a stock microphone stuck in a turn of body.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, that microphone is just the perfect microphone for the 7300. You just put it in another body and said, is that other body dust type?
Another body and said, is that other body dust type?
Yeah, it's like a +2. It's a stock +2 with the fin on the top. It's a 254C. The ceramic element had gone away. I've always liked this style of microphone. I didn't like the hand mic. I had nothing against the workings of the hand mic. I just didn't. I felt like I was driving while I'm sitting here in my shack.
Yeah. Car 54 pickup at 17th Street in Algonquin. Kind of like a dispatcher needs to be talking to you with a hand mic.
Kind of like a dispatcher needs to be talking to you with a hand mic.
Yeah, I tried the newer NW800. I don't know if you remember. We got it sounding okay, but I never could beat the stock mic, and so I just switched over like this, which gives me the feeling that I'm actually on a base station.
Roger. Now, just a comment that your dynamic range is somewhere around 1.5 to 2 dB, so you are pushed quite a bit into your ALC, Roger.
So you are pushed quite a bit into your ALC, Roger.
Yeah, I probably got it on the edge. I don't think I'm overdriving it, though. Do you think?
Well, the thing is, when I consider 3 dB the perfect dynamic range, and I think when you pass that, your words start to blur. So it kind of defeats the purpose when you get to more than 3 dB of dynamic range. And I think you're somewhere around 2, but nice and full, but it does take away a little bit from the words, when it gets that full.
But from the words, when it gets that full.
Really? I'm set on mid here in my transmit bandwidth. Of course, it's widened out a little bit. I got it a little tighter. But I do have a deep voice. I mean, you talk to me on the phone, so,
Roger, and you should be running that radio at 100 to 2900. That is such a beautiful radio to compromise. I'm sure it's a sin somewhere to compromise running a 7300 at less than 100 to 2900.
Compromise running a 7300 at less than 100 to 2900.
I think I have it on 200 to 2900 on mid, I believe. I'd have to look.
I don't think so. I think when you go to anything other than 100 to 2900, it starts rolling the top and the bottom.
Then 100 to 2900, it starts rolling the top and the bottom.
There are some radios that you can independently adjust the top and the bottom, but the 7300 I think is such that you work on both ends as you select your bandpass.
900 on the mid,
Both ends.
and now I'm on the wide. I believe I should be on the wide.
You more double.
Yeah, we doubled a little bit there, and
Yeah, we doubled a little bit there. And
Yeah, I'm on the wide now. I'm all out 100 to 2900.
yeah, that's where I would run it. I would put all three of those bandpass selectors at 100 to 2900, so you can't possibly run that radio any other way. Because, like I say, when you start to changing your bandpass, when you get less than 100 to 2900, you're rolling both the top and the bottom, and you need that top for articulation. You need all the top you can get for articulation. So, I would run it 100 to 2900. If there's a bass problem, I would solve that through EQ and keep that bandpass high frequency audio. Roger.
that bandpass high frequency audio. Roger.
Well, I didn't know you could tell that much of a difference. Like I said, this is 100 to 2900 on wide, and I'm going to make the switch now to 200 to 2900. Okay, now I'm on the switch 200 to 2900. I thought it sounded better on the SDRs when I recorded, but I don't know. Can you really tell that much of a difference between mid 200 to 2900 and wide 100 to 2900?
Oh yeah, you can, Ed. It's like you turned away from the microphone. Your top end just drops, just like you turn your head. As you were addressing the microphone, you turn your head and the top end just falls off. You got to keep that top end going, buddy.
The top end just falls off. You got to keep that top end going, buddy.
Oh, I thought 100 was the bottom end, no?
Well, yeah, we're talking 100 to 2900 is what you want to run that 7300, Roger.
Yeah, 100 to 2900 is what you want to run that 7300, Roger.
Well, I was running at 200 to 2900. I thought that was the bottom end, 200.
I don't think you can do that with the... I'm not sure. I've never seen that. Usually, when you get less than 100 to 2900, you're affecting both the top and the bottom end. I think you do both. But you want that 2900 for sure to stay there. And I could hear, when you switch back and forth, I could hear that top end just, go bye-bye when you went to less resolution, less bandpass.
Go bye-bye when you went to less resolution, less bandpass.
All right, well, I'm on mid now, and I'm on 200, and I'm on 100. So I am on 100. Did you notice the difference on the mid?
Well, the top end, yeah. Well, where are you now? Tell me, it sounded like you went to the 2900.
Where are you now? Tell me, it sounded like you went to the 2900.
Well, I'm 100 to 2900 on the mid, and then I go on the wide, 120, and now I'm on the wide. I do think there's a difference. Mid, and we'll go to wide.
Well, I tell you, mid sounded better. Oh, well, do that again. No, you're going to put it on 100 to 2900, and then do something else to compare 100 to 2900 to something else. Roger?
Something else to compare 100 to 2900 to something else. Roger?
All right, well, I'm on the wide, and I'll say Mary had a little lamb on the wide, and then we'll go to the mid. I always think the mid sounds better, and I'm on 100 to 2900 on the mid. I was running at 200 to 2900. Mary had a little lamb. Back to you.
Yeah, 100 to 2900 sounds best. I don't know, where it is or what it is, but 100 to 2900 is where I would run it, and then I would pull my mic level down just a tad to straighten your audio and not being so compressed, so you get closer to a 3 dB dynamic range. Roger, right now you're, like I say, you're about 1.5 dB.
Dynamic range. Roger, right now you're, like I say, you're about 1.5 dB.
I can drive it a little less. That's probably the easiest way to do it.
No, well, it was just mic level. You want to look at that AOC of the 7300, and you want to be mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on the ALC. Roger, roger.
Mid-scale to 2/3 on the AOC. Roger, roger.
Yeah, that's about where I run it. I don't know. I've listened to myself on the SDI. I actually like the 200. And I want to keep it on mid because I want to tighten it up just a little bit because I run a lot of power. And if I'm too strong to people, sometimes they say I'm too wide. So I like running on mid. I'll run it at 100 to 200 for a while and see. I don't think it's much different.
Roger. Yeah, well, it's just that radio sounds so beautiful, running 100 to 2900. But gosh, we all got to float our boat. So buddy, however you want to run it is fine with me, Roger.
However you want to run it is fine with me, Roger.
Yeah, well, they sound good. Everybody gives me good audio reports. And I do shoot a lot of DX, and I try to get those weak stations. So, like right now, I'm backed off about a foot, so it's probably more pleasant to hear it, armchair. But, when I'm driving it a little harder, I might lose some of the response. I get it.
Well, it's just that the words start to blur, and the whole thought is that we communicate the words, and so if even though the words may be louder, if they're blurred together, then it's hard to perceive what's being said. But anyway, hey man, good to hear you. You're sounding great.
Hard to perceive what's being said. But anyway, hey man, good to hear you. You're sounding great.
Yeah, maybe you'll pick up somebody else for the Qso-Vlog here. It's always good though, because I always record myself on the SDI with the speakers muted, and then I listen to myself on the SDI recording, and then I get a pretty good sample of what I sound like to, instead of just listening to an echo. But I'll try that one in Virginia. If you're saying it has better response, maybe I'll pick something up that I haven't.
Right, Arlington, Virginia SDR has a very flat response down to 100 cycles, so that's a nice one. And like I say, that's the only one that I've found that has lower end frequency response. The rest are rolling out at about 250 or so. 73 Ed, good to hear you, buddy. Don't be such a stranger.
73 Ed, good to hear you, buddy. Don't be such a stranger.
Roger, you did have a station in there who was kind of light to me, but I heard him trying to break in. KI4YTV.
Roger, at 73, sir, and like I say, if you go to YouTube and do that, call it a search to listen to your audio, KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 8/20/21, and you'll be able to hear our conversation and figure out those differences that we were playing with. 73, Ed, we'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. We're approaching 5 o'clock, and we turn into a pumpkin at 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.